Hello. We're going to get started in just a minute with our topic of the day. And so let me just forward our live over to our group and then we will get started. Great evening to you as well. Hello, Jeanette. How are you doing? January. You see, it says January, but now you taught me yesterday. It's Renee. So, hi, Renee. Nice to see you on. I think we've got it forwarded over to the group. So, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes, take a swig of water, and then we will get started tonight. So, for those who joined me yesterday, sort of back to back, so we had our guest speaker yesterday come on and talk to us about Palace Resorts and LeBlanc. So that was really great. I am itching to get out of town. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like word on the street that a lot of people are just sort of going to be hunkering in for the remainder of the year, which is a little sad because I do want to travel this year, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Hey, Monique, nice to have you on. Super excited that you guys could join us. We got a really great hot topic. Yeah, I really enjoyed yesterday's webinar. I actually have enjoyed all of our guest speakers. I'm not going to lie. Every single time I talk to a travel supplier, I get revved up. Like, the hairs on my arms stand up, and I just get like super excited, just to be traveling or to be selling travel or just to be in this industry because, you know, the suppliers, they got the mots, right? And they're our partners, and we get to have the inside scoop about what's going on. So I love to see their properties. It always gives me, new places that I want to travel. I really love Mexico. I love my husband. For those who don't know, my husband's from Jamaica, and so uh, I am a Jamaica specialist. So I've taken that certification with the Jamaican Board of Tourists, and there's so much about Jamaica that I know, and there's so many amazing properties about Jamaica. So when I find a property that's there, I just get even overwhelmingly excited. So, I've heard about Palace Resorts, but I've never really booked with them. And they do have a property there, so I'm gonna have to check them out. I think it was Moon Palace. So, um, I definitely need some island therapy, Renee. Like, I'm totally with you. Does anybody else need some island therapy? Like, I am completely in need of island therapy. I love that. Like, I am stir crazy. Like, my kids are a little stir crazy too, because I won't let them go out and play with their friends. So they're just like, why? I know they think that I'm an evil mom, but I try not to regulate their sleep. So everybody's sleep schedule's off. My kids stay up all night long, play video games, and I don't go to bed until late, get up late. I mean, it's just a hot mess. So I really would just like to unwind with the Mai Tai. I don't know why I say Mai Tais. I'm not really a big Mai Tai drinker, but it just sounds really cool. I am, when I go on vacation, what do I drink? If I'm in Jamaica, I definitely like rum punch. But I just kind of like any kind of liquor. I don't drink beer, but I do like any kind of liquor. What about you guys? Tell me in the comments what's your favorite drink. So if you could travel, what would be in your hand right now? Besides a bottle of water to make sure that you stay hydrated, what would be your drink in your hand right now if you were on vacation somewhere? What's your favorite drink? An island tea, iced tea lady. Island iced tea. What is island? Is that the same thing as a Long Island iced tea? Because I'm definitely a Long Island iced tea lady. Pampered with the butler. I could definitely, I don't think I need to be on vacation to be pampered with a butler. I would love to have a butler here. Yes, Long Island. Love it. Yes, I am definitely a Long Island iced tea chick. I'm that chick every day of the week. Um, yeah, it's my go-to as well. Anybody else have a drink that is their favorite? I'm definitely a Long Island iced tea, because not everybody knows how to make a drink. I don't know if you feel the same way, but like you go to a bar and not everybody knows how to pour liquor. I like my liquor clear. I like my drinks clear. And I don't like there to be a lot of nuances in between. So it's really hard for a bartender to mess up a Long Island iced tea, although I have had some that do. So, yes, absolutely. A Long Island iced tea on the beach, any beach that is, would be okay with me. I'm not going to lie. But when I go out of town, so in town in the United States, like if I'm home, I'm going to a bar in my neighborhood. Certainly, Long Island iced tea is where I tend to go. I lean towards because, like I said, you can't mess up a drink. I love margaritas, but not everybody can make a margarita. I like some mixed drinks, but not everybody knows how to make a mixed drink. So Long Island iced tea, you just got to pour the liquors, and you just got to put a splash of something, and that's it, right? So I tend to do that one because that's a good thing that you can do. But my daughter is in the restaurant business, and so I went to a restaurant before COVID-19, and her bartender introduced me to a, goodness gracious, I can never remember, an Old English. I think that's what old old English. I think that's the beer that you drink when you're in college. I don't think it was Old English. It was an old fashioned. That's what it was, an old fashioned. Old English. Could you imagine me drinking a 40? You just have no idea how funny that is. But it was an old fashioned, and so I really, really like an old fashioned because it was simple. The hint of orange. So that's my new go-to drink if I'm in town and I'm like going somewhere. Can't really mess it up because it's just, I think it's scotch and a little bit of what is that, simple syrup and a little squeeze of orange liqueur, and that's it. Can't mess it up. Fireball and ginger beer. That sounds like a lot of stories, Jess. Fireball and ginger beer. That sounds like a night with a couple of hashtags after it. 40 in a brown paper bag. I will have to say that is how I spent a lot of my college years. Not necessarily me drinking out the 40, but my homies did sort of drink out of the 40s. That's so funny. Old English. Gosh, I haven't heard that name in a long time. I have this really good friend. His name is Milo. I pretty much went to college with him. And him and all his friends, so that somebody been having a house party and there was nothing but 40s all around. Glen Velvet, that sounds good. Scotch, or is it something like Glen Velvet? I don't know. I'll have to look at what a Glen Velvet is. I don't know if that's the name of a Scotch or not, but yeah, I'm trying to think of what the Scotch is that they use in the old fashioned. Oh, I can't remember the name of it because it's Scotch is usually a whiskey, so I like Canadian whiskey. But I'll have to look it up. So I'll have to find a recipe for you guys and post it because that is my new drink, an old fashioned, not to be confused with Old English. Okay. So, all right. I think we've got a good enough time to let people get on. I'm so excited to be connected with you guys tonight. So before we get started, let's talk about a couple of things that are the reasons why you are here today. So, if you're overwhelmed, and I want to preface all of this by saying prior to COVID-19, because right now you should be in prep mode. So when I give you these examples, I want you to think back about your business and how your business was operating before COVID-19, because everybody's business is pretty much to shit right now. So right now you should be operating to get your business sound and ready. So when the floodgates do open, that you're ready and prepared to address that, right? So the examples I'm going to give are going to be, when you were in business prior to the shutdown, can you experience this? So I want you to imagine this before. You're overwhelmed and you've got all this work that you're trying to get done, and you are the only one doing all of it. You are a one-person show and you are booking doing discovery calls, you're doing all your marketing, you're doing everything, right? You're making some income in your business, but you're doing everything, right? Does that sound like you? If it does, I want you to put me in the comments, right? Another example is you're not making any money. You're maybe the opposite of that. You're not making any money in your travel business, and um, you are the go-to person for everybody. Everybody calls you up, to your friends, your family, to get quotes, but they're not booking with you, right? And really the only thing that you're getting are what your friends and family, because maybe you told them that you're a travel agent and they're just getting quotes from you. So you feel like a human Expedia. That's what I call you, a human Expedia, right? So you are the go-to person to do all of the travel research for people. If that sounds like you, I want you to put in the comments me. Maybe you haven't made any money or you haven't had any inquiries in months. Does that sound like you in terms of your travel business? If that sounds like you, any of those examples that I gave, then you are in the right space today. So today what we are going to do is we are going to talk about why you're in that space and what you can do to get out of that space. We're going to be going over why your travel business needs to have a business plan, right? And we're not talking about a business plan that's sort of the traditional business plan where you write this document and maybe you're trying to get funding. Many of travel businesses are not getting funding, so they just skip the business plan. We're not talking about this document that's going to be pages and pages long, and then you write it and then you throw it in the corner somewhere, right? Today on Travel Boss TV's episode number 3, we're going to be talking about why your business needs a travel business plan and what that means to it and what are the components for it. Are you guys ready? Let me know in the comments if you're ready. Put in the comments, I am ready to go through how I can stop not making money. I can start getting more inquiries in my business. I can stop being a one-person show because I'm making some money, but I can stop being a one-person show. If you're ready, let me know. Put that in the comments. I am ready. Awesome. I'm getting some. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. So that's good. Okay. So let's get started. First of all, before we jump in, let's talk about what a business plan is. Well, I talked a little bit about what it is not, but let me just reiterate that. What is not a business plan, right? So double negative. What is it not? It is not a document that you create and you just don't ever look at it again, right? Old school startup business, you create a business plan because you got to go to a bank and you got to give a bank, you got to justify your existence, and you got to prove to some guy, mostly it was a guy, unfortunately, mostly it was a Caucasian guy at some bank, trying to convince him or her that you are a viable investment for them to give you a loan. That is usually why people have always created a business plan, right? But fast forward to 2020 and we are in the age of online businesses, right? You don't need to open up a brick and mortar. You don't need to open up this big giant space, right? You're doing it out of your home. You're in your home office and you haven't thought one iota about a business plan, right? Some document that, just gets created when you need funding, right? That is not why you need to create a business plan, right? So what is a business plan? It is a document, but it is not a document just for funding. Really, the biggest reason for you to create your business plan for your travel business is for the following reasons. I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you the components of it. So I'm going to talk about what a business plan entails, and then we're talk about how it relates to your travel business. So the first thing is that you sit down and you write a business plan because it defines your business model. And so, it's a fancy word. Well, what's a business model? What does that mean? That is how you're going to make money, right? Most of you all, right, and not to say all of you, but most of you all think of your travel business as a way to make money only through travel supplier commissions. You're only making money after you've done the work. You're only making money after your client has traveled, and that may be anywhere from 6 months to a year to 18 months out, right? So you've invested all of this time, right, in doing the research. You've invested all of this time in terms of managing their record prior to them going on the trip, and then the time for while they're on the trip, right? Business model addresses how your business is going to operate and how you're going to make money. Have you thought about how you're going to do that? Are you only relying on commissions? If you only have one stream of income in your travel business, type in the comments one, right? Number one, I only have one stream of income. If you have two streams of income, I want you to put two, right? If you have three or more, put 3 plus, right? I want to see how much income you guys have planned for in your travel business. But 9 times out of 10, if you haven't had any sort of business coaching or you haven't been an entrepreneur, most of you have one stream of income, and that is travel commissions and only. And not only that, you're waiting for that until the supplier pays out after the trip has happened. Now, you get a great supplier partner like, who did we talk to yesterday? My brain is just, I'm telling you, like on totally different sleep cycles. So we talked to, was it Pleasant? No, that wasn't Pleasant Holidays. That's another vendor. We talked to Palace yesterday, Palace and LeBlanc yesterday. And she says they pay out commissions when the client pays, not when the client goes on vacation, right? So that's a good thing, right? That's not like normal travel suppliers. So your business model is going to identify how many streams of income you're going to plan for, what you're going to do and operate in your business. And that's critical, right? So I'm seeing a lot of ones, which is traditional. Most people have one stream of income in their business. I'm seeing some twos and I'm seeing some threes, right? So what you want to do in this first part of your business plan is you want to identify how you're going to make money and how you're going to operate your business, right? So that is one thing that a business plan or the activity of business planning does for you. The second thing that a business plan does for you is it identifies how you're going to organize your business. And I mean from a resource perspective, right? So if you answered earlier, I am a one-person show, right? And you're making money in your business, right? You're making some money, you're booking some clients, maybe you're getting some recurring revenue, and you don't have a plan on how you're going to hire, right? That's not sustainable. You're not going to ever be able to make more than what your own capacity is if you haven't thought about your organizational structure, right? So when is it time? When is it time for you to consider when you should be hiring additional staff? When should you start outsourcing those activities that are not directly tied to your revenue, right? That's what your organizational structure does, right? When I sat down and had my first business, like I had this great org chart. Like I knew that, I wanted to have an assistant. I knew that, once we hit this particular revenue threshold that we were going to hire more. And this was at the time when I was doing planning for our salon, when we would hire add additional chairs into the salon, when we would have assistants for the salon, the stylist, right? Same thing with your travel business. When is it time for you to hire an assistant? When is it time for you to add on maybe a part-time travel booker? Somebody, you work on getting the clients, you do the discovery calls, you get the requirements, and they're doing the research based on your direction, right? When is that time? Have you planned that out? That's what the organizational structure does for you, right? Doesn't mean that you have to hire a bunch of people right away, but at least it identifies when you're going to do that and when are the key indicators in your business as to when you want to start to expand your organization. Now, I'm not saying you have to expand, but at some point you are going to be doing too much, right? If you're successful at this, you're going to be doing too much. You should not be doing 100% of every activity that needs to get done in your business. I say do the things that you excel in and are directly tied to revenue and outsource the rest, right? When is the time for you to do that? Your organizational structure will identify that. Number 3, marketing. A lot of you guys are walking into this business thinking that you don't have to do any marketing. And marketing is only defined as this. It is your plan for attracting strangers to your business on a consistent basis, right? What is it that you're going to do? You haven't planned for it, nor are you spending any money in it. And the reality is if you want to be successful in this business, you need to have a plan to how you are going to attract new business regularly into your business. It doesn't matter if it's a travel business. It doesn't matter if it's a hair business. I don't care if it's a makeup business. You need to have a plan on attracting. And I'm telling you, you don't want to rely on your family and friends, right? You don't want to rely on the hookup queens that you know, right? You don't want to rely on all of the people that are around you, you're assuming are going to give referrals, because what's going to happen is you're going to get a cold wake-up call when you realize that they are not going to be the ones that fund your business, right? They're not going to be the ones that make you $1 million in your business, right? It's going to be your marketing systems that allow you to attract strangers. The better you are at attracting strangers into your business effortlessly will be the more successful you are. I used to say when I was doing marketing training, I used to say that you are, and somebody told me this, and one of the marketing training, many marketing trainings that I've taken is that you are as successful as the number of relationships that you are able to create, right? So the number of people that know, like, and trust you dictates your success. So if you don't have a way to attract clients to your business, you're not going to be successful, right? So you guys may or may not be familiar with my ARC system, which is attract, relate, and convert. If you don't have a way to attract, you don't have a way to relate, you don't have a way to convert, you're not going to make money consistently in this business. So if you're experiencing sort of this dry spell, that means you don't have an attraction system. I don't even have to ask you. I already know you don't, right? Because you're not investing any money in advertising. And if you are, you're not doing it correctly, right? It should be that you, if you're doing it really right, you should have a way to attract people on autopilot. Like I go to sleep and I wake up and there's 5 or 6 leads in my inbox, right? I go to sleep and you know, right now there's somebody who's joining our group. Right now there's somebody who's joining my email list, right? Those are all leads in my business. That's because I have systems of play. I could trace it down exactly where they came from. Did it come from this ad? Did it come from this piece of content that I did? Where are those people coming from? I can tell you exactly where most of, probably 99% of every lead that has come into my business, right? Do you have a system in place for that, right? That's what marketing in your business plan is going to identify you, is your strategy on how you're going to market. You can also identify how much money you're going to allocate for that. Don't go into business. Now, I'm going to bust some of y'all's bubble. Don't be in business thinking maybe you were recruited by an MLM host agency. Maybe somebody told you that the travel business was cheap and you could get in it for next to nothing, and you don't have to invest in anything, right? You pay the little monthly fee and boom, you got a business. That's bullshit. I'm sorry, it's bullshit, right? You cannot start any business, and nor can you operate any business without investments of dollars, right? Not only dollars in the business, but investment in dollars in you, right? I mean, you as a entrepreneur, you may not have the skills to run a business. Maybe you've never run a business before. So you're going to have to invest in you getting that knowledge so that you can do it. You're going to have to invest dollars in software. You're going to have to invest dollars in marketing. You're going to have to invest dollars in people resources. You're going to have to invest dollars in a whole bunch of slew of things to make money in your business. So if you signed up with an MLM and you bought the dream, don't get me wrong, because I've bought the dream before many times, right? You bought the dream that you could make 6 figures with $39.99 a month, and that's all you need to run your business. I'm here to tell you that's not the case, right? You need systems in place. You need processes in place. You need goals, plans, you name it, in place to make this engine work. The travel industry is an amazing industry. Low entry to get it. But if you want to be a successful business owner, you want to be a successful travel boss, you hear about, like, I'm in other groups that got people who are talking about, they're killing the game, right? They're booking people, they're booking groups, I had one lady in this group and she's amazing, right? But she'll tell you in a heartbeat, she's not a coach, she's not a trainer. She's like, I've invested a lot of time, money, and effort to make this 100,000. But she posted in a group last year that she made 6 figures on one group. It was a huge group that she booked, right? It was inspiring to read that, but the amount of work it took her to make that money and the amount of money that she spent to get the knowledge for her to get there, it was some money. She didn't get it for $39.99, right, a month. And I'm picking on $39.99. I don't care what you're spending a month for your host agency. Your host agency is not here to teach you how to run your business. They assume you already know that, right? So I want you to think about marketing and your investment dollars associated with marketing. If you're spending $0 on marketing your travel business and you're not making any money, that's probably why, right? You don't have a system to attract people. And if let's say, maybe you don't have a lot of money, right? And you are investing 0 time in marketing, right? That's why you don't have any clients, right? So you're not investing money, you're not investing time. So you're not getting out there and hitting the pavement, using your time because you're not spending your money to do it from an automated perspective, that's why you have no clients. End of story. Like, I don't need to figure out, I need a magic ball. I don't need to sit down with you for hours. I don't need you to tell me, all of the reasons why. It's that you don't have a plan on how to get in front of people, right? So then the fourth thing that your business plan is going to do is financials, right? Now, I love numbers. I am a numbers geek. I got a degree in accounting. I love numbers. It's so funny. I'll tell you this really quick story about my degree in accounting. So I went to what is it, college. I was in college, and my mother is the one who told me that I was going to be good in accounting. It was like nerds are accounting. I'm not a nerd, right? I was in denial. I was such a nerd. I'm still such a nerd, right? But like, I know it now. So she was like, no, Sundey, you would totally be good in accounting. So I did it, right? Loved it. Like, I loved the study of accounting, right? Because the numbers don't lie. There is so much story to be had in the numbers. I can look at somebody's numbers and I can tell you exactly, based on their goals, and I look at their numbers, I can tell you exactly what changes they need to make and all that, right? Just give me goosebumps. Like, I got like goosebumps on my arms right now, right? Because the numbers don't lie. They don't tell lies like people do. Like, people don't even know that they're lying to themselves, but their numbers always tell the truth, right? So most people are afraid of numbers because they don't understand them. They don't understand what the numbers are telling them, right? So you don't spend any time projecting out how much money you want to make, or you'll come up with some arbitrary number, but you don't have any idea what the path to getting there is, right? Oh, I want to make $10,000, right? In the online space, which is where I'm at, $10,000 a month is like the goal that every online fill in the blank wants to make. I want to make $10,000 a month, right? It doesn't make any rhyme or reason. And most of the time people don't have any idea what it takes in their business to make $10,000, right? In a travel business, you think about what we do in this business and how you make money. You make money off a commission. So if you want to make $10,000 months, right? And that we don't get paid normally until, the client actually travels, right? So you got to do projections 6 to 8 to 10 to 18 months out based on when trips are going to happen, right? So if you want $10,000 today, right, what are you doing today to make that next year this time, right? Because that's kind of how our money flows, right? Particularly if you have only one stream of income. If you're not charging any fees, you're only getting commission from your suppliers, then you got to do projections. Well, what's the average ticket that your customer you need to be selling to? You're dealing with some girlfriend of yours who wants to go to Cancun and she only has $500, and you're spending hours looking for a trip to her to meet her budget, but you want to make $5,000, right? Like, how many of those do you have to do, right? And how do you calculate that $5,000 based on the commission split that you're getting between your host and what your supplier is? You're picking 15 different suppliers to work with. You're not building any relationship with any one to two suppliers. So your numbers are all over the place, right? Financials tell the story, right? I ask you one question. How many of you guys are working with 1 to 2 suppliers only? Type in me. If you're only working with 1 to 2 suppliers, right, that means you have a better ability to control your financials than you do if you are just every single time you go out there in the marketplace, you get a quote and you're just going out there and trying to figure out who you're going to work with, right? This is the reason why I do these guest speakers, because I want you to get revved up about what your suppliers have to offer. Because if you have your number one thing in the foundation of your business, which is you've identified a niche, you should have 1 to 2 suppliers that you work with. You should not be working with 10 to 15 different suppliers, right? Period. End of story. And granted, I know that there's a lot that goes into the making of a package, right? You got airlines, you got a hotel, you got ships, depending on cruises, you got all these different things, right? But you should be working in each of the genres. You should be working with 5 or 6 different of those, right? You should be working with 5 or 7 different airline suppliers, right? If you have a niche for a particular area, right? You should know who the supplier is that's going there, who's going to give you the best point system, that's going to give you the best whatever you need to help get you to the numbers that you want. You should know what that is, so you're not trying to figure that out. So when I think about like how much money I want, my average ticket price for my client needs to be anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 per booking, right? I don't deal with customers where that is going to be less than that. My average ticket is going to be either higher than that or just a little bit lower than that, right? What is your average ticket, right? You want to make an X number of dollars in this business. What's your average ticket price for your bookings? What does that be? Do you know what that is? If you don't, then you need to figure that out. But that's what number 4 is going to do, is going to help you identify what your financials are, right? So I'm going to pause. I'm going to take a break, and I want to know, give me some heart, some love, and let me know, is this making sense to you? Is this helpful to you to understand how your business plan, when you sit down and you think about these 4 components of your business, how they could help shift the success of what you're going to be doing? I'm pausing now. Is this helping you guys? Let me know. I'd like to know, because I love hearts. I'm the kind of person that needs reinforcement. Like, that's my love language. Do you guys know what your love language is? Like, I totally know my love language. I like to see the hearts. And, I'm using this new software. I don't know if you guys if you know that I've been telling you guys, I've been using StreamYard. One of our members was using it, and I saw her on a live that she was using. And I was like, oh, that's slick. Like, I really like that. And then, I could see some other things that she was doing. And I was like, you know what? I am not going to be outdone by the software. I am totally not, because I'm like, like I said, I'm a nerd. I love software. So StreamYard is like, it's the bomb.com. Like, I'm not going to lie. If you are a live person or a video person, or you're thinking about going live on video, StreamYard is the bomb.com. I'll give you a link. I think we both get something if you decide to use it. But I really do love StreamYard. Okay, so I'm getting some comments that you guys are saying that it's helping you guys tremendously. It's helpful. This is great quality time. I love it. Oh, quality time is your love language. That is so Monique. I totally get that. So it's really important that you get these principles, because these principles associated with your business plan is your guide for how you're going to operate, how you're going to run, how you're going to remain focused in your business. Okay, so we've talked about kind of the components of your business plan, but here's the why you should have it, right? I mean, I'm sure you guys can figure it out, but the reality is that most people, when they start businesses, they think it's a great idea and they just jump in, right? Don't get me wrong. The name of our company is called the Business Jump Off, right? So I love jumpers, right? But what I do is I help you jump soundly, right? I help you jump with the parachute. I help navigate the jump so that you're not like hitting rocks on the way down, right? So I love jumpers, but the problem with jumping without a plan is you have no focus, right? So you're doing a free fall. We don't want to do a free fall. We want to do a guided landing, right? You may hit some turbulence along the way, right? But you're not hitting to the side of the wall, right? That's what we want to avoid. And that's what a business plan helps you do. So the number one reason to get a business or to create and spend the time associated with creating your business plan is it provides focus for you. Not only does it provide focus for you, it provides focus for anyone that comes in around you, right? So what I mean by that is I love the whole idea of planning, right? I have a whole training on annual planning and how to get yourself organized. But that focus is when there's something to the act of putting something on paper, looking at it, and looking at it regularly. I mean, I write my goals down. I do them annually. I review them quarterly. I write them down. I analyze what went wrong, what changes I'm going to make every quarter. So like right at the end of the quarter, I go through, see what we did. I mean, I do this every month actually. So, I do it quarterly, and then every month I see how we're doing against those, right? And then I see all that, right? The business plan is the big picture, right? It's the big vision for your business, right? And so I don't want you to think of it as a financial document that you only do so you get some funding, right? It's to give you that focus. Number 2 is not only the focus, but the number 2 reason is it gives you direction, right? So like, and I'll use the financials as an example and the marketing as another example, right? If you know that you want to make, and you've done some analysis of your numbers or the numbers that you want to make, then you know that you don't need to be wasting time with, a particular price point. And don't get me wrong. I sound a little snooty when I say wasting time, right? I just said that to my husband today. He was like, "Oh, so you're wasting time with me?" So it like took me down this rabbit hole, and I was like, "I'm sorry, poor choice of words." The point that I'm trying to make is that you don't want to spend time on areas of your business that isn't what you want to focus on, no matter why. You as a business owner, you have to position yourself to say no, right? To clients that are not your ideal clients, people who are not your ideal suppliers, whatever that no is around, your plan helps you say no confidently, right? No, I'm not going to do this. No, I don't do airline only research. And if I do, this is the fee that I'm going to charge for you. Or, yeah, I do, budget trips, but they're pre-planned and you got to buy it. And this is what the structure is. I don't research them, right? Whatever that is for you, you make these decisions conscientiously because you have a plan, and things that go outside of the plan, you either say yes or no to them, but you're doing it on purpose, right? So you're not accidentally making money. You're on purpose making money based on the decisions that you're making, right? So that's what I want you to think about in terms of direction is that your plan, your business plan clearly identifies, because you should know like how many units you need to sell, what price point do you need to sell. And I'm talking about travel, right? So what your packages, are you doing groups? What is that average price? If you're not doing groups, you're doing only fit. What is the average price of the ticket that you want to make in order to hit the numbers that you want to do? How many people do you need to be booking, doing discovery calls with, right? How much, all these different avenues of your business you need to know. So again, when you get customers that don't fit that mold, you can say no. You should say no. You shouldn't be afraid to say no, because you know that that's going to move in room for you to attract the client that you want, right? Don't be afraid to say no. Okay, so number 3 is what I've been alluding to, which is you need to know your numbers, right? The reason to do the planning is to understand your numbers, understand what you need to have from a cost perspective, what you need to have, and the revenue that you expect to come in. And so I said before that if you are with the host agency, most of them are going to charge you some monthly recurring fee, right? It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care what it is, right? That's an operating cost, right? Your cost, it's a cost to actually doing business. Like it's not even an operating cost. It's a cost of doing business. But that fee that you get charged by your host agency is not the only fee associated with your business, right? I mean, if you're lucky, it's one fee, but then you've got other fees that you have. I mean, if you were to look at the expenses that I incur, I have at least to run my business, like I was looking at the different types of software that I have. I have at least 15 different subscriptions that I use to help run this engine, right? 15, like literally 15 different subscriptions. Now, I'm a little overboard because I like technology. So I try a lot of things, right? But at any given time, I'm probably paying about 15 different providers of software to help run my business, right? Don't say I'm not suggesting that you need 15, but that's just to give you an example, right? That's just operating software to run marketing, to run, we're using TravelJoy, we're considering adding on Travelify, right? And that's because there's a hole in the market. There isn't a all comprehensive CRM system that does all of it for us in the marketplace right now. I don't think there is, right? It's a whole nother story about of what gaps are in the marketplace. This industry is not married to the technology times that we are in. Our customers expect and want so much more than our industry is positioned to do it. Those suppliers that are positioned to do it are the suppliers that you want to align yourself. If you're not technically savvy and you are still doing things archaically, and I don't mean to call you out, but if you're still pushing paper and you're just booking and you don't have a system to track all of that, and you're still doing it, just in some file system, and you don't have a way to automate that, and you're doing it all by yourself, and you want to hit, 6 plus figures, right? It's going to be a long, hard way to do that if you have no automation, right? We're in a tech, and now even so much, right? I would have said 6 months ago, go and have coffee with your prospect. Now, nobody wants to have coffee with you. They don't want to meet you. They want to talk on the phone. They want to get their requirements out to you, and they want to seal this up, and they probably don't even want to talk to you again. They just want to text you, email you, and you have the arrangements, and it's effortless for them. That's the way our clients are, right? So systems that help you make that easier are going to be the things that are going to help you get to the numbers that you want to get to, right? So that's number 3 is you need to understand what your costs are. You need to understand if you need funding, right? This is actually, with COVID-19, if you're not considering applying for, if you can actually get in line for any of the PPE types of funding or anything, I encourage you to take the time to do that. If you've been in business and you have the financials to support that, I would say do it, right? The interest rates are 1%. They're god awful low. And if you really want some funding, sit down, do this planning exercise, and really think about, is that the right decision for your business? I'm not saying go do it, but I think you should consider it, because there's dollars accessible to us, even though it's still hard. It's not as hard as it is to go to a bank prior to COVID to get funding for your online business. Like, that just didn't exist, right? That was not even an option. So, and then the very last reason for you to do a business plan is for you to actually think through some of your challenges. Like, what are you going to be going against, right? Because part of the business planning process includes you doing some market research with your competitors to see who your ideal client is, what the marketplace for your particular niche is, right? So what are you going to face, right? If your number, let me give an example. If you specialize, let's say, in destination weddings, right? It's a very competitive niche to be in, right? And let's say you are in Mexico, but then you look at your competitor. Maybe it's a local competitor, and she's at every wedding. What are those things? I just have a hard time with all the words today. So those conventions, right, that the wedding people have, like, we have it twice a year. We have it in June, we have it in the spring, and we have it in the fall. And, all the wedding suppliers come to them, right? And if you're at one of those and you've got, this one lady or lady, a guy, they've got this company, and they got the wedding area locked down in your area, right? Well, what is she doing to get that locked down? Like, are you going to have some competition? Another competition point that you may have for your business is do-it-yourselfers, right? So they don't want to go through a travel professional, and they want to do it themselves. So how are you combating that, right? So understanding what's out in the marketplace to understand how you're going to be unique as against your competitors, and then what challenges you may have to overcome in your business is really important, right? Because then you can position yourself to, put things in place, risk mitigation, so that if that does occur, these are the things that you're going to do to address them, right? So those are the 4 major reasons why you want to have a business plan. I've talked to you about the 4 things that your business plan needs to include. And my question to you is, are you guys revved up? Are you revved up to get your business plan done? How many of you already have a business plan and you need to look at it, or you haven't looked at it, right? Because that's my biggest fear, is that you spend the time, you do it, you get revved up, and then you throw it in the corner, right? I mean, it should be a document that is it's within just, hand's touch of you, and it's something that you're reviewing. And let me give you some examples before you start answering the questions. Many of you who have been in business, let's say you've been in business for more than a year. Let's say you did a business plan in the beginning. Maybe you did one, and you haven't done it, you haven't looked at it again, right? Because that's unfortunately what happens, is many people will do a business plan in the beginning and they won't ever look at it again, or they'll throw it aside, or they're keeping it all in their head, which is the worst thing to do as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, is keep it in your head. But I'm going to give you some examples of just in my business how things have shifted. So when I first started coaching, my focus was on one-on-one coaching, right? But we've shifted our business model to doing group coaching, right? One of the other things is I wanted to just have one program if I was going to do a group setting, but we've shifted to multiple programs based on demand and what the need is, right? So that's shifted. So our model has shifted over time. And I'm not even talking 4 and 5 years. I'm talking our model has shifted, anywhere from 12 to 18 months, at 6 months at a time. Can somebody let Dad in? Omar and Braden. Sorry. my model is shifted like 6 months based on the market, based on what the market is needing and what they're wanting, right? Same thing with you. COVID-19 will dramatically change how we do business. We need to be able to shift accordingly. Are you prepared to shift accordingly? You don't even know we don't even know yet what all the impacts and the shifts are going to be, because we don't know what the suppliers are doing. We don't even know what suppliers are going to be in the marketplace when travel opens up again, right? So you've got to be nimble. So your plan has got to be nimble. So don't be so rigid that you set something and you're not able to make a shift to meet the demand of whatever the market is telling you need to make to be. So that's one of the things too, is that business model, you may define it, but it may need to shift based on what's happening, right? And so that's the reason why I say, look at the plan, revise the plan, right? Do what you need to do to keep it in alignment to what your customer needs are and what the market is telling you need to do. Don't be outdated like, Blockbuster, and they just refuse to believe that, on-demand streaming video is going to be the way to do, right? And they went out of business, right? Don't be like them, right? You want to be able to shift and be nimble enough to shift and make shifts in your business as the market makes shifts, okay? All right, so let me know in the comments if this was a helpful thing for you, and is this something that you can see yourself doing for your business? So you always get all these wonderful Easter eggs in my lives. Never know if somebody's going to be knocking on the door, if the dog's going to be barking, or what have you. But that is the beauty of working from home, correct? All right, great. So I'm getting some good stuff that this was helpful to you. That is awesome. All right, so here's what I've got for you. What I want you to do is, if you would like my business plan template for free, I want you to put in the comments plan, right? And so all of those people who put plan, tomorrow we will go in, me and my assistant will go in, and we will get you the link to get the business plan. I'll get you the template, and you can create these 4 areas of your business, and you can go off and be fruitful. All right, put in the comments plan, and we will tag you tomorrow with the business plan, and you can go ahead and we'll make sure that you get your own. And it's actually a guide, so it'll guide you through how to fill out these areas. So it's a template and a guide together. All right, so perfect. I'm getting a bunch of plans. That's awesome. And with that, that concludes tonight's episode, and I will look forward to seeing you next week. So we will be here next Wednesday, 7 p.m. You guys have a great evening, and we will talk soon.